While Democrats have been obsessed with Russian meddling too, in the 2016 election earlier this month, former FBI Director James Comey revealed some possible interference much closer to home. Comey testified before Congress that Obama's Attorney General Loretta Lynch told him not to use the word investigation while discussing the Clinton email case. News that even troubled prominent Democrats.
At one point, the Attorney General had directed me not to call it an investigation, but instead to call it a matter. That gave me a queasy feeling.
I would have a queasy feeling, too, though. I think we need to know more about that.
Well, Senator Feinstein and the Judiciary Committee are now taking bipartisan action, announcing today they're investigating, quote, alleged political interference by Ms. Lynch in the Clinton email case. And in related news, FoxNews.com is reporting that the State Department is investigating whether Hillary mishandled classified information, which could lead to the former Secretary of State losing her security clearance. Now, do not adjust your set. That was not a story from 2 years ago. This is actually still going on. Richard, you did also have Feinstein today say that she does not believe that Attorney General Lynch played any role in influencing the investigation of Secretary Clinton. These letters are just a request for information to put to rest the speculation about the issue. What are you hearing?
Well, here's the thing. I said this before on the show. I think no Justice Department, we can now admit, is above politics. Every Justice Department has played politics in recent history. So there's no there. I think this is very interesting. I think that Loretta Lynch clearly probably made some mistakes in what she did here. I'll be the first to admit that. But I mean, Hillary Clinton lost the election. She's taking walks in Chappaqua. Just let her walk in the woods.
But that's not what she's doing. In fact, as Greg pointed out earlier, Hillary Clinton is actually quite active, calling the Republicans, the death party?
Yeah. I mean, again, after all the stuff we've gone through, here she goes, demonizing a group of people, calling us killers. That's not a good thing to do in this heated political climate, Hillary. But it's always about Hillary. It's always about the Clintons. They are the acid reflux of the Democratic Party. No matter what, they just keep coming back up every year. Blah, there's another Clinton problem. Blah. Anyway, the letters are meant to put to rest the speculation. That is exactly what Donald Trump wanted from Comey, and he didn't get it. And so we can say there's no there, but I don't know. This is truly the anti-transparency party. This is about using and manipulating speech to hide truth. They didn't want to say investigation. They wanted to say it's a matter. Remember man-caused disasters? That was Janet Napolitano's way of replacing the word terror. Violence. Yeah, or workplace violence. So it's like they have a real problem with truth. They have no transparency whatsoever. And again, this proves the case.
I just think you guys really like Hillary Clinton. You guys talk
about
I love her all the time, including the president, who continues to tweet about her after he's beaten her and defeated her and disgraced her.
She's like your Archie Bunker.
You guys continue to talk about her like you guys want to go on a date with
Archie Bunker.
Kimberly, what sort of legal trouble might, hypothetically, a former Attorney General be in for something like this?
Loads. Loads of trouble. Well, here's the thing. She's not going to make a case against herself now, is she? The last time she testified in front of a Senate committee, 70 separate times she refused to answer the question. I think that she's going to say, I'm not going to testify unless she's subpoenaed. If she's subpoenaed, she'll try to say, Fifth Amendment or something. She's not going to sit there and spill the beans on any of this, whether there was any kind of inappropriate behavior or not. And as it relates to Hillary Clinton and security clearance, it is. It's Groundhog Day all over again, because we've been doing this over and over again. Maybe this time they'll actually pull the security clearance, because that would have been very messy while she was running for president of the United States, smashing BlackBerries and keeping a server by the toilet. All true. No fake news here.
Once again, you guys are obsessed.
You know what the headline of
the toilet part
is?
That's
like the Calvin Klein cologne. Obsession.
The headline of the story is that Hillary Clinton still has a security clearance.
That's amazing.
Just like Mike
still
Flynn.
has it. It's
but
unbelievable.
I think the former secretaries keep it.
Yeah.
Of
as
course
long as they don't abuse the privilege.
Okay, because she's shown such a great track record of not abusing privileges. Hillary kind of reminds me of the person, they graduate from college, and then they come back to college afterwards and start hanging out at the parties, and everyone's looking around like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. It's time for Hillary to get lost, and she could be in more trouble. I mean, they're looking into whether she mishandled classified information. I've been saying this for a long time, that Donald Trump needs to do this. I'm very glad he's been listening. If they're going to play games with this Russia investigation and all these conspiracies, let's reopen some Hillary investigations. Let's have the State Department inquire about whether she mishandled information. What's fair is fair. Let's look into Loretta Lynch. All these things are starting to boomerang.
The State Department is
exactly. It's starting to boomerang on the Democrats.
Once again.
And then once again, if Mueller comes out and says, you know what, no evidence that Trump did anything wrong and neither of his associates did anything wrong, you have who's in the crosshairs still? You have Lynch in the crosshairs still. Hillary's still in the crosshairs. Susan Rice was slapped with a subpoena. Clapper, Samantha Powers. Everybody is now under suspicion, and the Democrats have wasted 6 months.
Quite a tale.
That's 6 months talking about Russia instead of talking about kitchen table
Clearly,
issues.
you probably had a drink with Stephen King before you came to the show tonight.
I had too.
Thank you. We can tell. Because you're just spinning this crazy story. Once again, goes back to how I started this, Dana.
Tell me again.
You guys are
so
obsessed with Hillary Clinton.
All right. So we understand.
Stop talking about her. She'll go away.
You guys aren't obsessed with Trump. All right. Let's focus on the media really quickly, okay? The Dems have been beating up on Donald Trump over conversations. What are these? These are conversations. I don't think Bill and Loretta were talking about their favorite soaps on the tarmac.
Right.
These so-called conspiracies or obsessions are similar in that they're both about conversations. But when you look at the coverage, are they comparable? Are they balanced? Are they equal? No. They treat a conversation with Trump as obstruction, as some kind of deep conspiracy. But with Hillary, the media is like, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Same with Lynch.
Right.
Basically, she got a pass of like, oh well. You know, and it'll be interesting to see if she does actually answer questions, if she answers if somebody instructed her to say something like that from somewhere higher up.
She's not going to give up.
But I do think it's a little flimsy. I mean, one of the reasons this letter from the Senate Intel Committee, it's based on some reporting in the Washington Post about a document that the FBI even says, that its own assessment is the document was bad intelligence, and according to people familiar with its contents, possibly even a fake sent to confuse the FBI.
Right.
But it's so juicy.
Right,
Let's
so
just
that's
tell
why we're
everybody
leading
what
with
it is. Okay, so I think it was Debbie Wasserman Schultz at the DNC was emailing with someone at a
I think you should
Soros
qualify that, since the Fox DC
think
News
tank.
Bureau said, the Fox News DC Bureau said in an investigation they couldn't find that Debbie Wasserman Schultz had actually sent that email.
Can we actually talk about how juicy it is before we knock it down, Dana? Okay, let's just talk about how juicy it is. Then we can knock it down, all right?
Let's do some fake news.
Let's tell them what they said was fake.
Just for the record, before he starts, this is hashtag fake news.
Okay.
No, it's Water's
Perhaps
World.
that's why we're asking for an
Water's
investigation. So the DNC, Debbie Wasserman, sent an email to a Soros-funded think tank saying that someone in the Hillary Clinton campaign had said that Loretta Lynch was going to spike the Hillary Clinton email investigation if it got too heated.
Can you believe this?
Now, could be fake news. Let's look into it. Maybe that's why the DNC didn't turn over their server to the FBI.
The good journalists.
Maybe they didn't want that exposed.
The Fox News Bureau.
The good journalists in our DC bureau indicated that this is fake news.
I just want the audience to know what the debunked story was.
Look, here's something you're going to like. This is based on a story that President Obama knew a lot more about the Russia attempts to interfere than we maybe have known up to now. And the president is talking to our own Pete Hegseth of Fox and Friends Weekend. He's going to have the full interview tomorrow. But right now, here's a clip of the president responding to that.
Well, I just heard today for the first time that Obama knew about Russia a long time before the election, and he did nothing about it. But nobody wants to talk about that. That the CIA gave him information on Russia a long time before they even, before the election. And I hardly see it. It's an amazing thing to me. In other words, the question is, if he had the information, why didn't he do something about it? He should have done something about it. But you don't read that. It's quite sad.
Okay, this is what I wanted, Kimberly. So now, after the president says that, at least are we all on the same page that Russia tried to interfere in the election? It seems like now we can all at least be on that same page.
Correct.
Okay.
Amen.
And now where do we go from here?
The rest of it is all, they're saying, untrue, no evidence of collusion, no evidence of obstruction, but lots of taxpayer money, lots of people coming to testify, and so far nothing has been proven.
Well, I think that, wait. I think you're mixing two different investigations. I think
No,
you
I'm
have
not.
the Senate
I'm taking you through
investigation.
multiple investigations.
Right, but they're different investigations. The Senate investigation is not prosecutorial. It is a fact-finding mission to figure out how we protect our elections. The Mueller investigation is, in fact, could be a criminal investigation into what happened in Russia and what this White House could have possibly done to cover it up.
A lot of qualifiers there, Richard.
And we don't, but here's the
possibly.
thing. Because we don't know.
Yes,
we don't
will never know.
So it's hard to jump to an assumption there's no obstruction
Well, no,
of justice
there isn't.
until the
It
investigation
isn't, actually.
is over.
And you're talking to a prosecutor, so I think I got this covered. But
I hear
thank
you, but then you would agree that the investigation has to take its course.
Okay, educate me about the law. What I'm telling you is that Comey testified and said that he did not feel that the President of the United States was trying to obstruct any kind of investigation or justice. So what happened? The guy was just 5 minutes ago basically let go and fired. So did something else materialize in between that time that is going to be a game changer and tell you that there are actual facts to substantiate this?
So
where's it going to come from?
Wait a minute. So
There's
let's
no
be very clear
evidence of
here.
that.
It was the Trump
And the
Justice
Democrats are
Department. It was
admitting
the Trump Justice Department that appointed a special counsel in this investigation. Therefore, his own Justice Department thinks there's a there, and that's why Mueller's investigating.
That's not true.
So why else would you have a special counsel?
No,
I find it very...
They don't point
Why else would
someone
you have
because,
one?
oh, we think for sure somebody's guilty. They're saying, look, if there's been something that is some kind of suspicion or suggestion, in the interest of justice, in the interest of transparency, we'll go ahead and put this forward. That's very different from saying,
correct?
well, no, if there was flat out evidence, then what you do, like you impanel a grand jury and put forth evidence for a prosecution.
Can we get Greg in for a last word?
That's my point.
I would say you're not going to find anything that Trump hasn't already said. He is the most transparent president in the history of the United States. You know his every thought. You know what he's doing. You know where he's at because he's tweeting it. There's no cover-up because he refuses to keep his mouth shut.
Right.
You know everything that's going on.
That's amazing, Jesse. Give me one more second here with Jesse, because the president said during the campaign that the election was rigged against him. But basically what the Washington Post story today is saying is that the election might have tried to be rigged, but in his favor. Right?
You know, I can't even keep up with how much rigging is going on. What I do know is this. President Obama knew that the Russians were trying to do something with the election, did nothing. Hillary Clinton
did things
had a secret server, was potentially hacked. No one did anything to her.
True.
The DNC was warned about hacking. They didn't put up any defenses. Then they got hacked and didn't do anything about that.
And wouldn't turn over the
afterwards.
server.
Right. And then Podesta gave his password to a hacker, and the password was password. So how is this Trump's fault again?
Right.
I'm trying to figure out why you're talking about it. He's the president. Can we move on? You guys continue to obsess about Hillary Clinton, like how I started
That's
this segment.
Perfect segue because we're going to move on.